by Podcast City Network.
It is time to play.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show. Let's go! A shot of entertainment to the head.
No doubt.
So sit back, relax, put your drinks up, and enjoy the entertainment.
Okay. Now we come to the payoff. Let's rock.
Welcome, everyone, to the Everett Lee Show podcast. I'm Everett Lee. Quick shout out to all my followers on Twitter. You can follow me at @TheEverettLeeShow. Facebook.com/Everett Lee. Click that thumbs up. And, of course, Podcast City Network, official host of the Everett Lee Show. As soon as I find where I can cut my damn music, we'll start this podcast. I'm livid. I'm ready. I'm ready to rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. Everett Lee is here. I've had McShaft and Chris Carnage try to hold me back all week. I've been anticipating since last week, since I got interrupted doing a live podcast. You don't know how bad that gets, man. When you're trying to do a live podcast, you have so many interruptions and stuff, especially the one that happened. It already happened before in the past with me and McShaft. Then we have another one we had happen last week, okay? The Poison is here, May 9th. Well, you know what? It's May 9th. Where are the Poison? Where's Poison? Where are they at? Where the hell are they at? I'm going to give the count of three. Well, actually, yeah. You know what? Let me hold off just a second. I'm just rushing ahead of myself. Let me give a shout out to some sponsors first. I'm going to get that out of the way, and then I'm going to get down to business. I want to thank Sports Sanity, SportsSanity.com, the official T-shirt licensed merch for Podcast City Network. Head over to SportsSanity.com and pick up your Podcast City Network T-shirt. City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, Florida, official host of Draft Day. Head over to City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, Florida. Have some brews, shoot some darts, play some pool, see some live music in the back, on the stage, and much, much more. Catch your favorite sports program on the multi-TVs they have there, indoor and outdoor, at City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, Florida. Atlantic Sounds in Daytona Beach, Florida, the official host of Podcast City Network. Head over to Atlantic Sounds, pick up your classic vinyls, CDs, cassettes, turntables, anything that you need for audio there at Atlantic Sounds in Daytona Beach. Okay. Let's get down to business. On the count of three, I am going to call out the Poison. Whoever the Poison is. It's going to be like Beetlejuice. Let's see if that works. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
Well.
Really?
Here we are. So you called out the Poison. I heard you. I know we heard. We were listening for it.
Bitches.
We are fucking here. That's
Second round podcast?
You are welcome.
That's right. There you go. You already know the name. You should already know who we are. It is the second round.
Second rounds is here, baby.
Second rounds is here. No fears. We're here, baby.
Adorable.
Cheers, motherfucker.
And we say cheers to that. And cheers to us.
Cheers to us.
We're so fucking magnificent. It's like insane.
Who are you guys again?
Well,
It doesn't matter who you are. This is the Everett Lee Show podcast. You come in and you stomp in my territory. Let me tell you something. Who sent you? I want to know who sent you, like The Rock says.
You know, I like how you do The Rock and you like to cut people off, and that's okay. Because what we do, what we're here for, is to make sure that we take over what this network truly is. Now, you're wondering who sent us.
Yeah. Yeah, who sent you?
Higher power, my
There is a
friend.
higher power.
Higher power.
A higher power.
From
sent
the
us-
depths of hell itself, we have come here to your podcast to make it a little bit better. Okay, ladies and
A little
gentlemen?
added bonus.
Who is that
Added
higher
bonus,
power?
we got the baddest man in all of geekdom, Mr. Oh So Smooth, Tommy James.
Woo!
Got the Stash Box, the supreme cosplayer, the Dark Lady of geekdom herself, Ashley. And you got you got the genius, the trivia master, Big Money Eddie. What do you have? What do you have? You have nothing.
You have nothing.
You have nothing.
Not at all. There is a higher power. Somebody called us and told us that we need to come through here. Come to the Podcast City Network and inject what they call the poison.
Poison.
You know, like that what's that song by Godsmack Voodoo? You know how great that song is? Because it's talking about the injection,
Yeah.
the snake bite.
We're here to get you pregnant.
But when they ask the higher up, who is the one that sent us?
Well, I'm going to ask the higher power. Is the higher power with you?
Currently? Is
Let-
the higher power? Well, let me check.
Let me check my dark powers. Ashley, you are more in tune with the powers of hell itself. You're the bruja.
Yes, I think the
He is.
Say yes.
the higher
He is.
power is here.
He is.
And it's not the bottle of JMO. It's not.
Nor my bourbon.
Well, higher power. I'm going to call out the higher power. I want to find out who this higher power is.
Oh,
Show yourself.
Be careful
Higher
what
power?
you ask for, my friend.
very.
When can that higher power appear?
It's me! It's me, Austin!
Cheers to that! Cheers to the higher power!
Higher power.
Everett Lee is the one who brought you all to Podcast City Network, man. I'm the one who brought the poison. I injected the poison into the Podcast City Network because we needed second rounds. And I can tell you right now, second rounds, the Florida edition, which I'm talking to right now, and the New York edition, welcome to the Podcast City Network, guys. Welcome.
Sir,
Thank
thank you, sir.
you.
Glad to be here.
We're glad to be here.
Anyone who don't know these guys, let's start off. Let's start from the left there, Mr. Tommy. Go around and introduce yourselves and tell just a quick bit about yourselves.
All right. Well, I am Tommy James, Mr. Oh So Smooth, or as Eddie now has called me, the most dangerous man in geekdom, which I like. I want to get a T-shirt made of that. And originally, I am from Brooklyn. I started the New York edition actually in 2015. We just hit our 3 years.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
That's pretty awesome.
May the 4th, by the way. So it was fun.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It happens on Star Wars Day, and started the show out in New York, and I ended up moving down here actually in October of last year. So we then created another chapter of the second round, which is the Florida edition, and the New York guys are still out there. So shout out to Mr. A-Town, shout out to Mr. Malave, and Mr. Lex on Dex.
Legs on, legs on.
Lex on Dex.
But yeah,
That's fun to say.
It is fun to say. Let's be real.
That's fun.
It is very fun to say, and of course, to my right.
Well, name is Big Money Eddie. I'm originally from Puerto Rico, and I moved here to Florida to become a teacher. So I'm actually a teacher. So,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
but so students don't know I do this because then they would go, Mr. Rodriguez, what are you doing? So, but I've been. This is this is a privilege just being here with Second Rounds and Podcast City Network. But Second Rounds has been a family to me. I mean, I think the closest friends I've had in Florida ever So it's just been a whole wonderful experience just coming here with these guys. And now with you guys, hopefully, I'll just have another extended family.
That's right.
Hell yeah. Glad to have you. And last.
To my wonderful right, the
There's
best
me.
of all of us.
What's up, guys? I'm Ashley Stashbox. I am a native Orlando girl through and through. I am also a bartender in downtown Orlando at Sidebar Orlando. I've been cosplaying for 6 years. I've been gaming my entire life. And I have found a small, dysfunctional family with my Second Rounds Florida crew. But I wouldn't trade it in for anything because I love them. But yeah, I like drinking. I like talking about movies and comics and hanging out
And
with
if you
these
want to
shitty-
call Ashley now, here's the number.
I'm also, they pimp me out all the time.
They pimp me out too, so
I have
it works
two
out.
cats.
And you might be surprised we get more phone calls here. No offense.
It's fine.
But that's
a
probably
it's a
because
fucking
you're
He's
Kate.
fucking adorable.
And
How
I'm
could you
fucking
not?
adorable. I'm a fucking cat.
I would say, guys, especially when you go to cons and stuff, it's like Tommy, you introduce yourself, Eddie, you introduce yourself, and then it's like they look at Ashley and they get all Beavis and Butthead. They're like,
Yeah.
and it's like they're
I get
talking to
that too.
Tommy and Eddie, and they're looking at you the whole time. I know that gets distracted sometimes, don't it?
Yeah. Oh, no.
It's actually funny. We enjoy it, especially when, like, originally, obviously, I'll introduce myself first, and then Ashley go, "Hi, I'm Ashley Stashbox," and they'll sit there and they'll be like,
I don't know. I guess as a bartender, I'm used to it. I don't know. It's weird. Is that weird that I'm used to it? I don't even know.
Well, as a bartender, no, I understand you being used to that.
Yeah.
In that case. Yeah.
Just like when I'm talking to people.
Nobody hubba
Right.
when they see me, though. They're just like, "Get the fuck out of here."
I will say this.
I've known a few bartenders in my life. Of course, they get used to it because it's basically part of the job. Because it's like you're serving drinks. Of course, you get some Rico Suave come up there and like, "Hey, how you doing?" And you're like,
It's
"What do you
not
want to
that
drink?"
you're jaded. It's just there's just a wall up, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it.
My mom's a bartender, so this conversation's very weird.
Your mom's getting hit on right now.
Right now, as we speak.
No, today's Wednesday. She's off.
Well, some guy at that bar is thinking about her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Fucking weird.
Hey.
I will tell you, Everett, that at least with the bear community, I'm huge there. Yeah, I'll admit it.
It's huge there.
And when we're talking about bear community, I'm talking about Fozzie Bear and things like that. Don't think like it.
Oh,
Waka waka.
Waka
Make this shit up.
Yeah, you're
Can't
right,
make this
yeah.
shit up.
we're gonna have some fun tonight, guys. We're definitely gonna definitely have some fun. I threw some topics and stuff your way, second round style. I figured we could do this like second rounds because you like to pull up, do top fives. You like to do your challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Before we get into doing the top five, explain a little bit about the challenges that you do at the cons and stuff. I thought it was really neat and interesting way to interact with fans and get fans to get on and listen to the podcast and just promote yourself.
So, well, pretty much the oh wow, we're really gonna NWO this. So the Who You Got challenge, which started actually in New York, it's all pretty much straightforward NCAA bracket style tournament. So you got 16 characters represented in different conferences, depending on how many hosts are involved. So for example, there's 3 of us plus Uncanny Mike, that's 4. So what's the number? 16 times 4.
It's 16 times 4. It's 4 characters from TV, 4 characters from movies, 4 characters from comic books, and 4 characters from video games.
But they have to be the origin of it. So you can't have a Michael Keaton Batman.
Or Christopher Reeve, Superman, that would not work.
Boo.
You know, it has to be Batman from the comic.
Right.
Something that we do allow is, for example, Game of Thrones is a TV show. We don't include books in the Who You Got challenge. So, based on that, we would base it off the TV show.
Right.
Okay? So, because of that, then we would allow somebody like, Jamie Lannister to appear on the show. Or Harry Potter movies. There is the Harry Potter books. We don't have books there. we include Harry Potter in part of the movies category.
Right.
So it just depends.
And then on the episode, we'll break down one specific conference. So you'll literally start with the 16 characters, all randomized as well. So you get some fucking crazy matchups. I mean, I'll even give you one example of a matchup I'll never forget, which was Mr. Feeney versus the Terminator. You would think that'd be a pretty quick breakdown, but it wasn't. We spent 10 minutes discussing that to really think Mr. Feeney could pull it off.
Right.
He didn't pull it off, but, you know.
Mr. Terminator.
There is a universe where he could pull it off.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All he has to do is talk to him.
The power
Yes.
of teachers. By the way, as a teacher, I have to say it. Everybody who is a teacher, you know, we appreciate you all. Today's Teacher Appreciation
That's
Week.
right.
So just
Cheers
cheers to teachers.
Cheers to
Yes, cheer the
Hence the
teachers.
double.
Yes. A little added bonus. But we're actually getting ready for MegaCon because we got our first ever Who You Got challenge at MegaCon.
And my first challenge.
And your first ever Who You Got challenge. And we three do actually have characters. Uncanny Mike is actually should be this week.
Yeah.
So, Ashley, you have?
I have Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones.
Ooh.
So mine is a little bit interesting. So I have to give background. So I think you should give yours first,
Okay.
then I'll explain mine.
Mine is the Mask Stanley Ipkiss, but not from the movie. It's from the Dark Horse comics.
Yes.
Way worse, more
Yes.
It's more
dangerous.
sick.
Yes,
and
I read
crazy,
about
and
that, man. That character,
It's going to
that
be more fun with that one.
totally
So-
different from the movies. Totally different from the movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Way
Totally different.
It's
Well,
not
yeah.
Jim Carrey.
No.
Yeah, for the audience at home, please read the comic books. They are good.
And Big Money. Now, this is going to be fun because he actually has to explain how he got to this character.
So we in the second rounds, when we do the Who You Got challenge, we do the symbiote rule, we do the Green Lantern rule, and we do the Dr. Fate rule.
Mhm.
That would be if you beat a symbiote like Venom or Carnage.
You don't beat symbiotes.
No, yeah, well, you know, the host of
Right.
the
The
symbiote.
first matchup,
Right.
if a symbiote is involved, for example, if Venom's involved, the first ever time it happened was Venom versus Cyclops. But the rule is that the symbiote has to merge with the first person they fight. So
Right.
it became Venclops.
Yeah.
We've also had Scenage, which is Carnage mixed with John Cena.
And with the Green Lantern, if you beat a Green Lantern, the ring falls to you. You get the Ring Lantern powers.
But
This
that's
happens
it.
to the
You
first-
only happens
Bada boom.
one time. It can't continue on.
So
Right.
in my case, and then with Dr. Fate, if you know the comic books, the powers of Dr. Fate are in the helmet, Nabu, the one which is one of the Lords of Order.
Right.
So if you beat Dr. Fate, you get the helmet, and then you get the powers of Dr. Fate. Well, in our matchup, Lord Zed from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers beat Dr. Fate. So
Oh,
he
damn.
is Dr. Lord Zed Fate, and that's who I'm having for MegaCon. And
Wow.
I am stoked about that.
Well,
just
I got
can't wait
one
for you to
question.
Oh,
I got-
wait, we have
I got one question here. You said the Carnage John Cena mixed together, right?
Yes.
Scenage.
Were people able to see him?
At that point, no, because you still get the powers of John Cena, which you can't see him, and he kicks at it too, as we know.
I know Daredevil would have a hard time seeing him.
Couldn't make it to the fight. Nobody wanted to give me Scenage because they were like, "That's bullshit. You're gonna win with this." And also, while we break down our brackets, we also have the overwrite bell,
Yeah.
Right.
which usually if a guest comes on, they have the chance to ring the bell. This time, we're doing it a little differently, where you don't get to vote if it's your conference, but you get the bell to do an overwrite.
And we also have, this is the most important part, we have a referee for the entire Who You
There
Got
is.
challenge.
There is.
Who is it, Tom?
It's fucking Joe Pesci. It's the fucking god himself, Joe fucking Pesci.
Joe Pesci is
Joe
always here.
Pesci. You think he's a clown? He's not a fucking clown, but he's a referee who he got challenged. That's what I'm talking about.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Yes!
I had to throw that out there, man. I had to throw that out there.
That was beautiful. That was perfectly done.
Yes,
Good
it
job,
was.
Mr. Lee.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very good job. Very good job. Yes, the F.
Well, as Stone Cold Steve Austin would say, we got a top 5. What? I say we got a top 5. What? They will stomp a mud hole in your ass and walk it dry. That's right. We got a top 5 here on this podcast tonight. Let's start off with our first top 5 list. What do you say?
Let's go.
Let's
All
do
right.
this motherfucking show.
Yay!
All right.
Yay.
You inspired me with your last podcast last week about artists from the 2000s. I figured I'd take a trip down memory lane during my teenage years when I was reckless and I was on the verge of idiocity and stuff. Talking about the 90s, man.
Oh yeah.
Got top
That's
5
it.
artists of the 90s. There's so many artists that came out in the 90s, and even just artists that revived their career in the 90s too. I mean, there's so many, you know. We'll start off with Tommy, go to Eddie, and then Ashley, and then back to me. Who is your number 5 top artist of the 90s, Tommy?
Woo! Number 5.
Wait a minute. Let me just artist or band, right?
It could be both.
Yeah, it could be both. It could be both. Artist, a band, yeah.
Person or group.
So music, person, and group. Top 5. If I had to say number 5 at that point for me was Craig David.
Oh, yeah.
What?
I liked me some Craig David.
Craig David,
What?
yeah.
I love Craig David.
We have like 2 songs
And they
out.
were good songs.
Right.
I love me some Craig
They
David.
were good. They were good.
I hate you.
I got to go with Tommy with this. They were good. They were
What
good.
a loser.
I'm sorry. I like fucking Craig David. I had the album. I was
7 days.
Well, I like the first one. Can you feel me? Can you feel me? That's always fucking awesome.
No.
Yeah, I want to challenge that. Is that even the 90s?
Craig David?
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
I'm challenging this.
She's challenging it.
All right.
Sorry, we do this. I'm challenging
We're
it.
gonna find out.
I got Google.
I got Google.
We all have,
We're gonna
we all
find out
have
right now. We're gonna
smartphones.
find out
I'm
right now.
challenging
It
this.
came out.
2001.
No, all right. Well, the album itself, "Born to Do It," came out in '99 and 2000, but it was recorded in '99.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Swings 5 by it.
By the skin of his teeth, he makes it. Okay.
So
I'll allow it.
yeah. So mine would be Pantera.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
Oh,
fucking
my God. Pantera. Cowboys from Hell, man.
Cowboys from Hell. You know what's a very underrated song from them? Tense, which is when he was recording about his addiction, and he recorded this song. My skin is cold.
Yes.
Transfusion with somebody.
Yes.
It's really fun. That is that song to me. And then when I saw it, with Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, the anime, I went like, yes, this is metal, this is fun. So it was fun. Pantera all the way. Top
Yeah,
5.
Pantera was just great. Far Beyond Driven was my favorite one.
Yes.
Great Southern Trendkill was just knock you off your ass, man.
Well, that beats out my Craig David. So.
Of course.
Loser. Excuse me for having a taste in music. I hate myself for it.
Oh, man. Oh.
Go, Ash.
I think mine would have to probably be top 5. Weezer would I would say would be number 5.
Damn.
I just remember growing up watching their music videos on MTV early in the morning. Do you remember the Buddy Holly music video?
Oh, yeah.
Where they
I remember that.
superimposed a Happy Days episode. That blew my mind.
I know.
when I was a kid.
Happy Days.
I thought that was like a legit episode of Happy Days. I'm like, whoa! And then I found out about green screens and CG, and now I just feel stupid. But I still love Weezer. I think they're timeless.
Yeah.
I would still go to a show of theirs tomorrow if I could.
Yeah, they're still putting out great albums, great songs.
Oh, yeah.
They're still rocking, man.
Yeah.
They are still rocking. They're
The
like
song they put that was recent for Jackass 3, the one Memories Make Me
I
Want to
love
Go
that,
Back. It just reminds me of college. Every time I hear that song, it's just like college, just like memories.
You just want to be in like a toga chugging some shitty beer. Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah, they were so great. They were so great. My number 5 band would have to be the Foo Fighters.
That's a good one.
Yes, sir.
That would be somewhere
That's a
on
good
my
one.
list.
That's
Yeah, my number
Probably.
5 band would have to be the Foo Fighters because 1994, when Dave Grohl released that self-titled album, I remember the CD. It just had that ray gun on it, and that was basically it. And Dave Grohl went through so much because Nirvana disbanded, Kurt Cobain just committed suicide, and a year later he goes back in the studio, records all these songs, plays all the music, plays all the instruments, and he releases a monumental album, and then he gets a band, and they still just continue, man, to make great music to this day.
And I've seen them live. They're fucking awesome.
They are. They put on a hell of a show. Dave Grohl's one hell of a drummer. He's so talented. He guest drummed for the Queens of the Stone Age.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is nothing.
He's done records with Tenacious D.
Mm-hmm.
Remember
he was in the movie.
Yes, I was going to go there.
He was Satan, right?
He was Satan.
Yeah.
Of course he was going to be Satan.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What was it? The video of him performing with a broken leg and a throne.
I was there.
So metal.
I was there.
Yeah.
He was sitting on a throne with a broken leg, just fucking jamming, and I was just like, this is fucking amazing. That's how he's God. That's God right there.
Well, there are many gods.
God,
He's
babe.
one of the gods.
He's one of the gods.
Yes. He jammed with the greatest god of
Ozzy
heavy
is
metal,
God.
Lemmy Kilmister.
Yeah, Lemmy.
Motorhead.
Lemmy is God. There you go. He
Lemmy's
understands me.
It was Ozzy.
Ozzy is God. Lemmy is God. David Bowie is God.
Prince is God.
Actually,
Prince
David
is God.
Bowie's on his way to Mars on a Tesla.
There are no more virgins. Did you see that meme of Prince looking at lollipops? Says there's no more virgins in heaven anymore.
Yep.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Wow.
David Bowie there. There's no male virgins or female virgins.
Or eyeliner anywhere.
Yeah.
All the eye makeup is
Sure.
gone in
All
heaven.
The babies have
Wow.
been done.
Done. What would be your number 4, Tommy?
Well, I'm gonna redeem myself now.
Please, please.
I'm gonna redeem myself because I did like my Craig David, but I'm gonna redeem myself. I'm gonna go with the Offspring.
Oh,
A one-hit wonder.
As you know from our last episode, Jack, not a one-hit wonder. Because the kids are all right. It's not their fucking.
Somebody thought that
No,
they
it was
were-
Marvin.
It was
pretty
Marvin.
Pretty fly for a white guy. No, that's not a one hit. That's one of many fucking.
Yeah,
Kids
no
Are All
shit.
Right is another really
No
great
shit.
fucking song. But that band's just fucking awesome. I wish they still were on top like they were at that time. But that was punk. They were real
Sure.
punk rock at that point.
yeah, they were. They definitely
did
were.
a cover of I Want to Be Sedated in Idle Hands, and it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And that's hard to top the
Yes.
Ramones.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that definitely is. That definitely is. That album came out in '95. There, I believe it was '95. My freshman year in high school. That album had some good, self-esteem. Got to keep them separated. You just that album just rocked, man.
It was rock. It was what rock.
That
Back
is
in the
rock.
day, that's
That
you
is
had
rock.
guys like the Ramones, the Clash. You had like legit rock bands, and then it turned into kind of puss rock. And then you got the Offspring and other bands that I
Yeah.
have on my list too. But yeah, they come in and they give you rock.
Yep. Agree. Keeping up with that. White Zombie / Rob Zombie.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a good one, man. That's
Thank
a good
you.
one. All I got to say is on that.
Player, it's on. Every day.
Honestly, they are, without a doubt, pioneers in that not only new metal, but just they brought a different taste to heavy metal that made it appeal. Yes, you had Beastie Boys and everything like that, but I think after
Right.
Beastie Boys, which we can talk about after.
That's what I would
Yeah. After we talk about Beastie Boys, we can definitely talk about that how White Zombie and Rob Zombie made that, like, it's hip hop, but it's not hip hop. It's rap, but it's not rap. It's metal, but it's also like country. It's like all fused into this awesome like new thing. That's why it's new metal. And I love them. Like, I could jam to Thunder Kid 65 all day.
Yeah.
That is my road trip song.
Yeah, the guitar, man, just come in like dun 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 dun.
See, Zombie had good guitarists.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's one thing. He
had a mad
really-
voice. Mad voice.
It worked, and it just it's
I'll be a little bit.
And he had a female bass player who swung her hair around, man. I thought times her head was going to just fly off, you know?
That's what happens when you do it for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, freaking great.
Party on, money.
Put it on, guys.
Zing.
Actually.
I think mine fourth one would have to be Aerosmith.
Nice.
Just because,
Comeback, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, that's what I was
Yeah,
about to get into. I know a lot of people would probably say Aerosmith was really much bigger in the 70s and the 80s, but I'm 30. I grew up watching Alicia Silverstone and Liv Tyler spin around in schoolgirl outfits, like the crying and crazy videos, that. I can't escape
That's my
those.
favorite song.
Like
Crying.
those, and
Is that your favorite song?
It is.
honestly, all of those songs that came out in the 90s, I loved. Like
Right.
loved.
Yeah. I would say a lot of teenagers about, I was probably about, 14, 15? I say a lot of teenagers got blisters on their hands.
No, from
His daughter.
yeah. Oh, I remember when I found out that was his daughter doing like the Elizabeth Berkley like showgirls like pool dancing scene. I'm like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
My father wouldn't even let me wear a two-piece till I was
But
like
see, what's
15.
good with Aerosmith was they had big names in their videos.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and they continued doing that as time.
Right.
Even when they came out with Jaded, it was Mila Kunis,
Yeah.
which I was like, fucking love that bitch.
But she was only 70s shit.
She's only saying.
Yeah, but she was still Mila Kunis.
Yeah, no, she was so gorgeous.
She was Jackie.
Kunis.
I think she was still also a minor.
Yeah, she probably was like 12, but it's
Yeah.
it worked in Aerosmith. Aerosmith knew what to do with her correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, you brought up Showgirls there. That was actually before Showgirls. Showgirls came out, I think, in
Really?
96, 97.
So Showgirls ripped off an Aerosmith
With Tyler.
video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Possibly.
They ripped her off.
That movie is my number one guilty pleasure movie. Like, I understand it's a very bad movie and I understand the acting's terrible, but that movie, I don't know why, is so home to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop laughing, Eddie. It's a good fucking movie. There's full frontal of both male and female in there.
I
who doesn't
will
have
not
the man?
judge you. I enjoy the nudity.
If we did
I
like
enjoy the
top 5 movies of the 90s, I would put Striptease Demi Moore up against that right there.
We could do a Who You Got challenge.
Who's
Who had a better looking ass?
Who you got?
Who got a better looking ass? Or who looked better bald?
better looking ass than me more wins?
Yeah, I mean, we're done.
Yeah, I didn't even have to agree with that. Elizabeth Berkley had a very square rear end. in
Yeah,
Showgirls.
it's not impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I would have to go now with my number 4 would have to be Green Day.
Fuck, man, everybody's
Ah!
that was my number 3.
Because you wasted your number 5 on Craig David. We all have to just rip you off now.
Bong. You can
Monday,
repeat. You
Tommy
can
was
repeat.
getting fucked on Tuesday. He was getting fucked on Wednesday. And on Thursday and Friday and Saturday.
I just liked Fill Me In. I don't know why you're singing that song.
That was the only other song I know.
Yeah.
By your number 5 of the 90s
Well,
of
guess
all
what? I got
time.
another one.
Craig David.
I got another one. Green Day.
Green Day. Green Day. Green Day. Green Day had a really good hits. I mean, what the hell is there? Dookie. I was trying to remember.
Yes.
It's like there's so many albums out of Green Day. Yeah, Dookie. No one realized these guys had 2 albums before Dookie. They thought Dookie was like their first album. It's like, no, man. They had 2 underground albums that was really good. They already had a fan base, but they blew up bigger on the mainstream. And Dookie had some really good hits, man. Like Welcome to Paradise. I love jamming out to that one, man.
Welcome to paradise.
Basket Case was one of their biggest hits.
Yeah, Basket Case was.
That
Rain Stew.
Yeah.
That basket case is Green Day for me. Like,
Yeah.
Whenever I hear Green Day, you go American Idiot. Like fuck no.
No.
Hear basket case
Basket
first.
Case.
How old are they?
Yes.
Like 15 if they're saying that.
They are. With you, man. That fucking song would fuck with your head.
Yeah. And the video was actually inspired by One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You know, it was.
I can see that.
It was. They actually ripped a scene off when I think it was the drummer, the bass player, ripped out the water fountain, threw it through the window, just like in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
So the big guy threw it through.
Yep.
So Jack Nicholson was he didn't do that part, but good movie.
Great movie. If you haven't watched it, great movie.
Very good movie.
Nice Jackie.
Yes. What's your number 4? Did you say your number 4 was Green Day 2?
Yeah, we're on 3.
Yeah, we're on
No, 3.
We're on 3 now.
Yeah, we're on 3 now. Okay. Number 3.
Okay, so technically it would be Green Day for me, but
You'll switch.
I can switch it up a little bit because my number 3 is Shaggy.
Ooh.
Because I love to mute some Shaggy. I love Shaggy. Why are you fucking shaking your head?
Why?
What is wrong with Shaggy? What the hell? What's wrong? Because it's Shaggy. He's Mr. Boombox's
Do you know
Mr.
this
Lava
poison was cotton candy flavored?
What is wrong with
The most dangerous kind of victim has
We're not talking about that. We're talking about music. I like music.
All aboard the Midtown Express to hell.
Oh, I whine like I'm from the islands, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Top
I bet
5?
not. Yeah.
Top 5?
That was one of the albums that I had as a
Motherfucker.
kid. I also had
Motherfucker.
fucking Aqua.
Aqua.
Yeah, I had Aqua.
There goes mine.
I was jamming a Barbie girl and shit. You tell me you weren't jamming a Barbie
No!
Who wasn't, man? It was actually a catchy song, but then after hearing it for like a million times, you really got sick of it, man. You know?
After a
It's
while,
like the cha-cha.
No, like Chumbawamba.
Cha-cha.
I get knocked down,
sitting
but I
in
keep
the
get up
vagina.
again. Nothing's never gonna keep me down. Chumbawamba. Thub Thumper.
Keep you warm.
Oh, tub thumping.
Yeah.
Chub Thump.
Chub
Top
Thumping.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be
Chub
Kiss
Thumper.
in the night.
Night away.
Yeah.
Night away.
So you're talking about one-hit wonders here, and I'm talking about a guy that actually sells. And I'm the fucking bitch.
I'm not.
Now Shaggy. Now Mr. Boom. Was it Mr. Boombastic? I forget the damn lyrics, man. I can't understand the guy half the time.
Couldn't avoid it. Wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Angel. Those were fucking hits.
Yeah.
He still does music to this day and still makes good music. He's reggae.
Even Jade's calling you gay right now.
Who gives a
There you go. There you go. Jade, wonderful human being.
Can we
Thank you.
just cheers to Jade? real
Cheers
quick?
to Jade.
Cheers
to
to Tommy's not
Cheers to Jade.
No. I like Shaggy. I'm fucking fag.
You are.
Can we redeem ourselves, Eddie? What's your number 3?
And I'm not going to redeem myself.
I
in
hope
the
it's
show.
fucking the guys that did
He's
Macarena.
gonna say Hanson or something.
No. See, I would have gone.
Oh. My
I would have
God.
gone Marilyn Manson or anything like that because it would have been great.
That would have been a good one.
But I need to represent my people from Puerto Rico.
Is it Elvis Crap?
Elvis
No, fuck no. I'm
Suave,
going
man.
Ricky
Suave, man.
Martin.
Oh, I was gonna say no way.
That's gay.
No.
Just because he is
I don't
gay.
even know these guys. I don't even know who these men
We're talking
are.
about Little Vida Loca over here.
No. Let me explain.
Oh.
This motherfucker, ever since El Gran Combo, which was in the 60s and 70s, there has not been, at that time, like a major Puerto Rican star all over the world. So I have to represent somebody from the 90s who broke ground for my people.
Couldn't you
Right.
do like Enrique or something?
Enrique Iglesias came out in the 90s
Is it
original.
Spain?
No, Enrique Iglesias his father's Spanish, but from Puerto Rico, yes.
At least
Oh, you know
Bailamos.
what? You know what? I'll switch Ricky Martin.
No.
Mark Anthony.
You picked Ricky Martin.
Mark
Stick with
Anthony.
Ricky Martin.
Mark Anthony.
Okay, so my number 3 is Guns N' Roses.
Oh.
That's a-
I would
Nice.
No,
say
it's
that
not.
movies.
November Rain. Are you kidding me?
When did that come out?
Are you challenging it? You're reaching for your phone. So
1991. Use Your Illusions 1 and 2 came out in 1991. I remember that. I lived it.
I was born during that time, so sorry.
I was born in '87.
I was born in 91.
True story. I thought you could die at your wedding if it rained because of the November Rain music video.
Are you serious?
I was like, if it dies at your wedding, you should die.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cheers.
But wait.
Thank you. Did I redeem the man card?
Everybody has to pick rock songs, and I like my pop and reggae.
I'm gonna I still have two more.
I put Ricky Martin.
You don't know where I go.
I put Ricky Martin and Mark Anthony in the same
Now I gotta change my top so I can seem more manly. Should I pick Mariah Carey? No.
You know, I'm sorry there, Eddie, but yeah. Actually, Mariah Carey actually had some good hits during the '90s. I hate to say that, she did. She had some really good stuff.
She did. She
actually, in early '90s and by the mid '90s, after she got her divorce from the what was it? She was married to the guy from the Virgin Records, I think it was.
I was talking about November Rain.
I don't know. What was she? I liked Mariah, but
I never liked Mariah. Here's the thing.
What was the question?
I
She was married to the guy from Virgin Records.
I remember that.
Yeah.
The old guy.
Here's the thing about Mariah Carey. She's a great singer, but I will always hate her because when she does that little mockingbird sort of like. Now everybody wants to do it in every single fucking American Idol show.
Yeah.
And it tears every single audio.
Because not many people can reach.
You cannot reach that.
Yeah.
No, it is respectable, but after that, everybody wants to do it, and you cannot do it.
No.
Just understand that she is unique in her way of singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you cannot imitate her. But the one thing that's the one thing I always dislike about her. Like now, everybody wants to do that little sing-song mockingbird sort of thing. It's like, don't do it. Let her do it.
Right. What's your number 3 there, Ashley?
She said Guns N' Roses.
I said Guns N' Roses.
I'm on number 3 now. Okay, I'm starting to lose track. Sorry. Throw me back on the rails.
We're kind of distracting. You'll get to know.
If not, then just give me.
We segue. We do parentheses and we do a nice little roundabout and we come back.
Yes, just give me one of these right here if I get off the rails.
I will try my best.
My number 3 would have to be Korn.
Yeah, I was gonna say Korn, but I was going for number 3.
Korn is my number 3, man. That right there. I'd have to say actually. Their first album and Life is Peachy was just 2 great albums right there. The first time I heard Korn, I thought my ears were going to bleed. I was like, what the fuck am I listening to here? I'd never heard anything like it. Chutes and Ladders, that was one hell of a song right there, man. That was one hell of a song.
And to be honest, even though it was their most famous one, Freak on a Leash, that video fucking amazing.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
Oh, the bullet?
The bullet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beautiful. You're singing like bum 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 bum, and you're like, yes.
All right, I guess we're at the point of
number 2.
Top 2.
Number 2.
Numero dos.
Numero dos.
Number 2.
I don't even know if I want to play anymore, to be honest with you. I'm just getting shit on for all my fun.
Well, what's the next one? Britney Spears?
Just say Backstreet Boys.
Number 2 is Boyz II Men.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love
Good.
Boyz II Men.
Good.
I personally think they're better than New Edition.
Yeah.
Even though we know Mike was the one that founded Boyz II Men. If you actually watch the New Edition story, they actually tell you the story. It's great. I fucking loved it. But I don't think anybody sings better than them as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
All 4 of them.
Agreed.
I thought you were going to say all for one. I was like, they were also good.
Yeah,
all for one.
They did.
I remember, I think it was 95, 96, All for One, and I forget the country singer. They both covered the same song, or did the same song, and they were up that year at the Grammys for the best song, or best duet, or not duet, group song. I forget the country artist that covered that same song. I swear, country artist covered it, and they did it. I don't know who.
All for One.
Yeah.
Then they had the other one.
And I swear
That was
By the moon.
because I remember when they
stars,
did that song again in Just Friends, the movie with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
It was like popular again. I kept hearing it in
That
places.
was not All for One. Not I Swear. You're talking about the other one, right?
It was I swear.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, because they have the other hit that's really big.
What's the other one?
The one Hey, ready?
Oh, yeah.
Cinderella,
No,
you hope
that wasn't the
it
song
will
Ryan
come
Reynolds
true.
sings in
That
Just
one
Friends.
day your Prince Charming
I'm already
will
falling
come
asleep. Stop singing.
to you.
Why not?
You like
Hey,
romantic
Everett
movies.
Lee is understanding the rhythm. Keep the rhythm going.
I don't know how to whip
That was real music, though.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
if there
good.
was a meaning
It was real
behind
good. I like to see some artists try to pull that off nowadays. But,
It would never work.
No, it would not work.
Nowadays, it's
No, now we were like, mada, 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 mada.
Jesus,
Mada,
Vlad.
mada, 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 mada,
I
mada,
got
mada,
Cardi
mada.
B on the back, Cardi B in the back, and that's in this name of the song will be Cardi B.
Yeah.
She's not even on it.
Oh,
I love her.
no.
But I'm hated
What?
for liking Craig David.
You don't.
We're always coming back to this. You know this.
I know.
Every fucking episode, we're gonna be.
He loves how Stella got her group back and jamming a Craig
Hey,
David.
hey, hey, no. Now, I will defend how Stella got her group back. That's a great movie.
God.
Great movie.
Oh,
Alright.
God.
My number 3 has to be
Two.
number two. So number 2 has to be King of Grunge, Nirvana.
Oh.
Nirvana broke grounds that I would have to say it's the last greatest band of all time in terms of like there are a lot of great bands, but when it comes to legacy,
Mm-hmm.
it's the last greatest like band there.
Right.
Although there's one that is in the grunge genre that I like more, which I'll talk about if anybody doesn't mention it, that I prefer more. That would be my number 1. But in terms of like legacy, Nirvana has a lasting legacy that cannot be that is untouched even by the other band that I want to talk about. But Nirvana not only broke grounds, like even the emo stage we have now. Even the rock scene that we have today owes everything to that first Nirvana album.
Right.
It's amazing. So Nirvana would be my number 2.
Very
Awesome.
educated description of why you chose him.
I like that.
I think my number 2.
You're welcome. That's why the
Christina?
genius.
No, my number 2, my number 1 are a split. So I'm gonna choose one that I guess I should choose number 2. I'm gonna go with Sublime for my.
Oh,
Nice.
That's good.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That's what I thought when I chose
a good
it.
one.
That's why I chose it. I was lacking from the list, you guys.
Was I the only person that listened to pop? Was that how it was?
No,
I-
I
Because
hate
I'm
I-
the white guy that
I
listened
listened to pop, but I realized that songs that stuck with
It's
me
ro-
more
I'm
from the
talking about
90s
rock.
were these bands.
I'm Hispanic. I'm supposed to go like, it's all about salsa and hip hop for me.
J-Lo.
Macarena for me.
Macarena.
I'm talking about. See, I talked about because of my heritage. I talked about Ricky Martin and Mark Anthony for the sake of establishing legacy and heritage there.
Mhm.
But no, pop to me was annoying.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna have to say for my number 2, I'm gonna have to throw out there. It's a toss up between these two for number 2. It's a toss up for me between Alice in Chains and Nirvana because I loved Nirvana growing up, but as I got older, I found more artists and stuff, and one that actually really was a big impact on me was Alice in Chains. Is my number 2 right there. Alice in Chains, Man in the Box, Dirt.
Yes.
That album freaking rocked, man. It did. It
That's
had
a
so many
great
good songs. Jars of Flies was a freaking killer EP,
And knows his
man.
music. I love him already.
Yeah, and their Unplugged album was so fantastic, man. You know,
Remember when you
It was-
did the Unplugged? So good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't do that shit no more.
No,
Because they play
don't.
16 and pregnant. There's
Yeah,
no
that's
time
why.
for MTV
MTV doesn't
Unplugged.
do music.
Yeah,
do
yeah.
reality.
You can't do 16 and Unplugged, you know.
Well, you could. It'd be really good, though. It'd be...
and unprotected. There we go.
And
Are you going to watch it?
Yeah, imagine,
I would watch that.
guys.
I
Imagine
think
if they
it
did
depends on
a
what they look
they
like.
did
You know, you're
Unplugged. They
like,
brought Unplugged back. 16 on Unplugged. You know, there's 16-year-olds sitting there playing acoustic guitar, giving birth. You know, man. The box. Get out of my skin. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's daddy. It's daddy.
All right, here we are.
Daddy.
Here we are.
Daddy.
Number 1. What is your top pick, Tommy, of the 90s? Your top artist band of the 90s?
Okay, so technically, my answer would technically be Aerosmith, but I consider Aerosmith more 80s, more 70s, 80s band.
Same.
Sorry, Ashley.
That's
but
fine.
They are my favorite rock band of all.
Not mine,
But my number
it's up there.
2 favorite rock band of all time is the 90s. They got more popular in the 90s, which is the Red.
That was my number 1! Yeah, you redeemed yourself.
Wow.
Under
That's
the
not
Bridge
my number
came out
one,
in
but
91, and they just went.
Yeah, no,
Right
they
from
didn't
there.
stop. It was just hits the whole
yes,
time.
Yep.
great.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That
agree.
album itself was.
That's also my number 1.
Talk about a versatile band.
Talk about
Did
it.
you know that when they used to
Sexy
come out and
fucking
play,
lead
they used to
singer.
only put socks on their wieners, and that was it?
Hot.
Yes.
That's rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yes. Blood Sugar Sex Magic was my favorite album, man.
Yes.
It was. That was. That and Californication was awesome because they got the guitars back, man.
Californication.
Californication was a freaking huge album around
Yeah.
the world. When they just you're just like, oh, this is rock, dude.
I know.
They rocked
I
it.
know.
That is amazing.
They closed the 90s back in full force, you know. And I'd have to say I did like One Hot Minute. That was another one because they tried something. They went more of a rock direction with Dave Navarro.
Yeah.
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 The thing is, like, has anybody ever seen them live? Because I'm
Yes.
dying to. You've seen
Not-
them
not
live?
me.
Yes. They're amazing.
Not me.
Anthony Kiedis stared me right in my eyeballs. I'll never forget it.
Eyeballs.
Yeah. I
I
love
thought you
him.
said he stabbed you in the eyeballs.
Would be amazing
Yeah.
too. Because then I get his autograph
Dude,
in some type of
dude.
report, right? Oh my god.
Dude, just
No,
right in the
I just
forehead,
want to have
smack
all
it on
of
the-
his children.
With the sock on it, just smack it right in the forehead.
It's insane how many of his kids I want to have.
Did he have the sock on?
Yeah.
For me, as I was talking about number 2, I was hoping
You went number 2.
I went number 2. One of the more, number 2. one
You
of
went
the more
number 2?
interesting games. Yeah, what is number 2? One of the more interesting games to play.
I want to play that game.
So, yes, I talked about Nirvana, but number 1 has definitely. If Nirvana created something completely different, to me, it's like when you talk about how the Beatles created, the rock scene that we know today and everything.
Yes.
But then the Rolling Stones made it just 1,000 times better. So if Nirvana created the grunge scene in the 90s, Pearl Jam, what?
Did you just say that
Pearl
the
Jam,
Rolling Stones
yes.
made what the Beatles had better?
To me, yes.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, to me,
I
yes.
mean, I love the Stones, don't get me wrong, but the Beatles are better than the Stones.
To me, the Stones are a little bit.
Ooh.
We'll talk about that.
And we're done here.
We'll talk about that some more. But to me, just as Nirvana created that grunge scene and made it amazing, Pearl Jam
I liked Pearl Jam.
Pearl
Yeah.
Jam just took grunge to a whole nother level. To
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
To me, even Everflow.
Are they?
I feel like you could. I feel like you could say the same thing about the Stone Temple Pilots. I feel
No.
like,
To me, when it comes to grunge, it's Nirvana, Alice in Chains, and Pearl Jam.
I don't know.
That's the
Would you
triumvirate.
consider Pearl Jam grunge?
Yes, it is.
You sure?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, they came from the Seattle scene. You had Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Nirvana, and Pearl Jam from there.
Soundgarden was also amazing.
Yeah.
I used to love like Even Flow is.
Even Flow is amazing.
But then you get Even Flow. It's like Jeremy's calling.
Eddie Vedder's voice, man.
Well, that's how some of the Deftones songs are too from the
That's
90s.
true.
Like
That is
it'll
true.
get like real heavy, and then it'll get real like ballady, but also heavy. You know what I mean? Like,
alternative rock grunge.
yeah.
Yeah, but Pearl Jam is grunge.
Like
But the reason why they were so good and to me better than Nirvana is that they surpassed that grunge and they become real music.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
I can agree to that.
Mm-hmm.
They become real. That's why I love Pearl. When people talk about Nirvana and everything, they're like, listen to Pearl Jam. What? Listen to Pearl Jam. We'll talk later.
Yeah, I can. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
It is grunge, but it is music above and beyond the grunge scene.
like Radiohead.
No, fuck Radiohead.
I love Radiohead.
Oh, Radiohead, man.
Radiohead.
Creep was such a good song. Creep was a really good
Creep
song.
is so bad.
It was.
That's why I hated Radiohead.
Creep is so
was.
good. Talk show.
I'm
host.
a
Plastic Trees.
I'm a weird.
I actually did like that song. Plastic Trees. I did actually like that song.
That song
I
makes
did.
you want to stand behind a fucking tree.
Truly,
and
me
just
and our
stand
higher
there.
power have really good music taste.
I'm a tree.
What is your number two?
Oh, you might as well. Do you like
What
number
the
one.
hell am I doing here?
Do you like Snow
I
Patrol
don't
too?
believe-
What is your number one,
Snow
Ashley?
Patrol?
What?
What is your number one?
My number one was also the Red Hot Chili
Red
Peppers.
Hot Chili Peppers.
Bet Hot Philly Peppers. Bet Hot Philly Peppers.
I like that.
You ever seen?
Funny story,
Cool,
actually, my mom bought me tickets to
that
go
was-
see
oh,
what she
yeah.
thought was
They-
the Red
they
Hot
do
Chili
that part.
Peppers in Daytona like a few months ago.
Mhm.
It was actually the Red Hot Chili
Yes.
Pipers,
Oh.
a bagpiping cover group.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
You're the second person.
It's actually
You're the second
pretty
person I heard say that before. They, in the last couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, they said. Yeah, they said. Yeah, the Red Hot Chili Peppers are coming to Daytona. It's like, no, it's the Red Hot Chili Pipers.
I tried to explain to her, I was like, they wouldn't be playing the band shell on the Daytona beach, and
Well-
their tickets wouldn't be $10.
Do you
They'd
think
be
they're still
500.
gonna like go back and tour? Because I've been
100%. They went on tour last year. I worked that
Oh,
night
they
at
did?
my bar.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They have a new John Frusciante. He's
Yay.
young, and he's not named John Frusciante. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of what they're putting out right now, but
Mhm.
I'm
Well,
a
it's their old shit.
At the time.
I'm a diehard. Anthony Kiedis can do no wrong
Right.
in my book.
Well, this will shock you here. 1993, Spring Break 1993. Stone Temple Pilots performed on the band shell in Daytona Beach.
Well, that was back in the day
Yeah.
when Daytona was the spring break hotspot
Yeah.
destination.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of like, how long has that band shell been around? I'm sure every like big
Yeah, it's-
artist that ever went to Daytona spring break, especially through MTV, performed there.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, it's like I notice it's a lot of cover bands. Whenever
Yeah.
I'm in Daytona, it's a lot of local musicians doing covers.
Yeah, like remember the guy named Snow Informer, and he performed.
I like it.
I like Bum Bum, yeah.
Icky Boo Boo Man or whatever the hell, you know. But yeah, he performed on that same during that same week
Snow?
with Stone Temple Pilots at the band shell during 1993. Yeah.
What a fun spring break.
Snow and
Could you
Stone Temple
imagine
Pilots. Now
like
that's
coming
a
back to
fucking concert.
college the next week going, hey, how was Daytona? I saw Stone Temple Pilots and I saw snow. What a great setting.
Wow.
And then you put your wrist bracelet back on and you,
And your frostbites and everything.
yeah, the best day. You turn step
Oh,
by
man.
step off of your TV and you go out and you go to Blockbuster, you rent a cool video.
Video.
What a
Blockbuster, yeah, dude, I got my Blockbuster card, man.
You gotta get your membership card.
Remember how lit Blockbuster used to be?
I know. All right, my number one band of the '90s artist is gonna have to be. I consider this the name of this band is a universal language ice breaking barrier, because when I was on my cruise last week, I was wearing their shirt and the room service guy commented on it, and we were sitting there saying this band, going back and forth saying it, and my wife was like, "What the hell?" I said, "It's the universal language barrier for anybody, and that band is Metallica." Metallica. Yeah, the Black Album, man.
I thought he was going to say 311 or Fish.
Nope. Black Album, Metallica. I wore that cassette out on my Walkman. I wore it out. I had to go get a new one. Actually, I swiped my friend's copy of it, and I put in. I swiped his copy of Metallica, and I put in his cassette tape. I think it was MC Hammer or Vanilla Ice.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I did some stupid stuff. But yeah, Metallica, man. Metallica, Black Album, Inner Sandman, Sabbath True, a lot of hits off that. Yeah.
Master of Puppets, man.
Yes.
No, but Master of Puppets is 80s.
Yeah.
It's just the one thing, like, I always, like, my parents have actually seen Metallica live, but they saw Metallica and Blue Oyster Cult together, the Black and Blue tour.
Oh, yeah.
And I hate them till this day because I would love to see that. That sounds like an amazing concert.
Yeah.
That's a great concert. That's the best concert you could go to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
It definitely is.
Blue Oyster Cult
And the
Metallica.
Black and Blue tour.
The only other concert that I can imagine that's better is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame concert that happened in New York City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about a Michael Jackson concert?
No.
You know Michael Jackson put on a fucking concert.
No. That's literally what all the kids are saying backstage, too.
Yeah. He walked back there, and Michael Jackson walked back there, and it was more like this.
You can't have so many people.
It's Lord.
What do we do to Michael Jackson?
It's Mr. Jefferson.
That's ignorant.
That's it.
That's ignorant.
That's ignorant. That's ignorant.
Climb the tree. Climb the tree.
Yeah, a lot of people back in the day was basically like suing Michael Jackson. They were just like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just messed up. All right, this one right here, we can do this two ways. It's going to be a toss-up, guys. All right, for this top 5 right here, we can head to Marvel or wrestling.
Ooh.
Let's do Marvel because I know Ashley will.
I'm bad at both.
You're bad at. How are you bad at both?
I'm bad at both.
How can you be bad at? But how can you be bad at Marvel?
Because I'm a DC snob. I'll admit it.
I was gonna say you're a cosplayer. You're a cosplayer.
I know, and
How
I
can you
only
be
like
bad
the
at
DC
Marvel?
Females. Is that weird? I only
That's
like.
not weird. I'm a DC guy.
Okay, so you get it.
You don't like DC?
They have better backstories, right?
Let's see.
Thank you.
You're a Marvel guy. You're a DC guy. I'm an OPP guy. You down
More
with
of a
me?
Bob's
He's
Burgers
OPP, you know.
person, but I guess you can help
You down with OPP?
Yeah, you know me. I had to throw that out there. We said we were on the 90s. I know that was lame. That was just lame. You know.
NWA. That is definitely not OPP.
Oh.
I know.
National Wrestling
So
Alliance.
And I'm pretty sure they were the 80s.
Yeah.
That's what it
All right, we'll do your top 5 favorite Marvel movie characters.
Movie character.
Mhm.
Movie character.
Yeah,
Okay.
movie characters. Yeah. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Who's your top 5?
I say let's start with Ashley.
All right, we'll go
let's
around
start
the
with
other way.
Ashley.
What would be your number 5, Ashley?
My number 5 Marvel movie character would have to be she's a small character. She went by the name of Darcy Lewis in the movie Thor.
I love her tits.
Kat Dennings from the Thor movie.
I love her tits. Love her tits.
Yeah, I can think of 2 big reasons why I like her too.
Oh yeah, no.
She's got big yabos, but I think she's funny.
Are we thinking the same language?
Yeah.
Her name
We are
is
thinking-
Dark
Yeah,
Girl and
I'm speaking 2 big languages there for you, you know?
We are square. She's interesting.
I contributed.
Eddie, don't say number 5 is Jane Jane for you.
You like Jane Foster?
Not me.
Whatever the hell her name is, man. You know?
No.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman in Your Highness, when you see her booty, when she's going to the pool.
Is that really her booty?
That is her real booty.
Mm-hmm.
It is a beautiful booty.
It is
Good
a
for her.
nice booty.
It's not a great booty,
That's a nice
but
booty.
it's a nice booty.
Because normally if it's just like a butt, they'll have like a butt.
No.
person come in.
You actually see her.
Her
She
face.
turns around and everything, and you go like, booty.
Butt and face are all in the same shot?
Yes.
Wow.
Stunt cock. No, for me, Marvel characters, I tend to go more with villains and mentors.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be probably my list overall.
Percy Lewis
So the
as
first
well.
one, that is not one of them.
Number 1.
Although there might be 1 or 2 heroes mixed in. Number 5 would be Red Skull from Captain America
Nice.
First Avenger.
Hugo
Hugo
Weaving.
Weaving, and also when you see, spoiler alert,
I just realized who my number 1's going to be.
you realize
Yeah.
it's not going to be Red Skull.
It's not going to be. It's gonna be.
Is it going to be the same one as mine, motherfucker?
I hope it is.
Is it going to be?
I hope it is. It's probably not, but I hope it is.
Was he in the
Can we
Goonies?
stay focused?
Was he in the Goonies? Okay, good. Okay, so Red Skull, Hugo Weaving, and also the other guy who played him in Infinity War. Amazing, amazing character. Red Skull in the comics is, to me, along with Doctor Doom and Sabretooth, the top 3 great villains from Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Red Skull in Captain America First Avenger was a legit villain. Bad, world-conquering, charismatic, threatening. Loved him. Just loved him.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Red Skull? Awesome.
So
I
this
like
is
them.
only strictly MCU. This doesn't count.
Is it
like,
MCU?
Just Marvel in general, like Marvel movies, or it has to be MCU,
Are you asking like comics?
I would,
like movies.
you know, I was sitting there thinking about that because, you know, Marvel put out some really good Netflix shows.
This show.
Oh, but also,
Well, you're also counting like
Fox.
Sony,
and
Yeah.
Sony.
Sony. Because that is Marvel, but is it MCU? Is it Disney? Pretty much.
Are we counting Florida exclusive, meaning Disney owned?
Yeah. Is it Disney? Is it MCU or is it just Marvel?
You laugh, but we're serious.
We'll say the Marvel. We'll say the Marvel movies. You know, just the Marvel movies. Okay.
Marvel movies.
Yeah. All the what is it? How many they got now? Like what? 19, 20, 25,
More.
30? I'm just exaggerating there.
Involving Marvel.
Anything involving the first major Marvel film on the theater was
Spider-Man.
Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck.
Oh, okay.
Howard the Duck was the first major Marvel film with George Lucas producing.
It's blinking.
Yeah.
The skull's blinking.
I know, I turned it on.
So
It's possessed. Run.
Since it is Marvel, we're opening it up a little more. I'm gonna go with Chris Evans as the Human Torch in Fantastic
are you
Four.
serious?
I thought he was a perfect Human Torch.
That's true. That's true.
When
He did.
came from not another teen movie to be the Human Torch, I was like, I believe it.
You know
I see it.
You
It
know
makes
the
perfect
yellow
sense.
Galaxy Power Ranger was showing her tits there, right?
Was she?
The foreign exchange student is a yellow Galaxy Power Ranger.
She was the Yellow Galaxy Power Ranger.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, some titties.
Yes, sir.
Well, Chris Evans had those titties, and that's why I like Chris Evans, the Human Torch.
What I do Any hoodles.
All right.
Ashley puts us in our chat.
Yeah, I have to. Hashtag me too.
I'll throw this out here.
Us too.
I want to thank everyone viewing in on the live stream tonight here on the Everett Lee Show Second Rounds podcast, Florida edition. All right, my number 5 favorite Marvel movie character. I'd say it would have to be, damn. I'd have to say Rocket Raccoon.
Mr. Bradley Cooper himself.
Yeah, Mr. Bradley Cooper.
Nice.
Rocket is just so great, man. He is. He's just a foul-mouthed rodent that don't give a damn. I just love him, man. I do. He can show his tough side, and he can show him get a little bit soft, so which is pretty cool.
And a hair stuck to my fingers.
Yeah, I think
thought you were
Bradley
playing
Cooper
Conjuring.
really makes that character, and obviously in Infinity War, you still haven't seen it. You see a better side of him. more
Everybody
softer
shut up. I don't want to.
It's Marvel. We're talking spoilers.
Okay. I really like this game.
Good.
All right, your number 4, Ashley?
My number
$1
4
million.
would have to be Evan Peters as Silver Surfer.
Oh, nice.
And Lawrence
That's a good one.
Fishburne
That's a
doing
good
the voice.
Yeah.
Wait, you said Silver Surfer?
Or Quicksilver.
You mean
Quicksilver, whatever. Sorry.
That's why I was like, okay, and then you said Fishburne. I was like, yeah, wait, did you play Silver
I'm
Surfer?
great. Yeah, no. I just love him
Yeah,
as
because
everything.
Doug Jones actually made him the Silver Surfer. It
Mm-hmm.
was Doug Jones, and then Lawrence Fishburne did the voice.
We don't talk about that movie.
No,
But
Evan
it happened.
Peters. No, in the more recent one
Evan Peters, X-Men.
from American Horror Story.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, love him.
Apocalypse.
Yeah,
and
he is
Days of
actually a
Future
really
Past.
good.
That
I love
is a
him.
great choice.
Thank you.
He's a very good
That's why I
person.
chose it.
Really good actor. Really good actor. He's been in a lot of good things.
So I chose it.
He has. What's your number 4, Eddie?
Ooh. See, now I want to piggy off of.
Do you want to piggy off of me? No room to piggy. Gross. Another American Horror Story reference. Hey, big man! Okay.
No, mister.
No.
It's not gonna fit.
Eddie
Wow.
hates that voice.
Oh my God.
See, as a teacher, it disturbs me way too much.
Oh,
My
damn.
homework no good. No. No.
Nah.
See, I have a tie, and because they're such best friends, I'm just going to put them together.
Okay.
Professor Xavier and Magneto.
Okay, which one?
Okay.
What?
Which one?
Oh,
Both? Like both movies?
no. Well, we're talking about Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart.
Okay.
When we're talking about Sir Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McKellen, knighted by Queen Elizabeth II.
Mm-hmm.
Great actors, perhaps two of the greatest actors at all time, portraying basically Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. On the big screen. Not only is it impressive just seeing Shakespearean actors taking on Marvel roles, but it's also impressive just seeing great actors portray these characters that I love from the comics, small screen, talking about the X-Men animated series.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Amazing. And from the comic panels itself to the big screen. But you're just seeing great dynamics, great performances. You're seeing character arcs. You see Professor Xavier. If you see the first 3 X-Men films, X-Men United, and the last.
We don't talk about that movie.
You have to.
No, they reversed it. That movie doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, but then
Yeah.
you look at Days of Future Past.
Right.
You see the evolution of Patrick Stewart. You see the evolution of Eric Lensher and Ian McKellen.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing. And if you count Patrick Stewart's performance in Logan,
Yes.
it is without doubt just amazing. An actor's performance in a film that should not have that performance.
Okay.
This is
Yeah.
Oscar caliber acting in a superhero film.
True.
If the film was not a superhero film, he would have gotten Best Supporting Actor nod.
Only one person's ever won an Academy Award from a superhero.
And that is by acting, and
Yep.
that is Heath
Heath
Ledger.
Yes. Heath
And I'm pretty
Ledger.
sure it was because he was dead.
And that's because he was dead. And that's what Robert Downey Jr.'s face was. If you remember that,
Yeah.
he was just like, he got it because he's dead. And
Yeah,
you go
but then
like,
again, he was also
Robert
blackface.
And you go like,
he was nominated for Tropic Thunder.
Bobby, you go, Bobby, Whoopi, you're doing blackface. That's not right.
Yeah, not right, but you're nominated for an Academy
Yeah.
Award.
So good for you.
Yeah.
Being racist and shit.
Yeah, definitely. What would be your number 4, Tommy?
I'm gonna go with
Oh my goodness.
A favorite of mine, and that's Star-Lord, Mr. Chris Pratt.
Peter Quill.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was gonna be
Awesome.
one of mine.
I think he really, especially not knowing anything about Guardians, you know, I didn't really
Do you
read the
want
comics,
some?
and then when I finally
No,
saw
I'm
the
really
movie,
good.
I was
Do you want me to
like,
top you off?
fucking, I could be Star-Lord. I was
Finish that,
with the
let me-
music that he listens to.
Right.
He's badass. He's banging aliens. You
Mhm.
know, and I'm like, I believe it. And Chris Pratt coming from where he did at Parks and Recs to where he became.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah, totally. Totally. I mean, he's just
he's a babe. Let's be real.
he made that character, man. He made that character, and basically what with him and what the whole cast of Guardians of the Galaxy did was they basically what I've read and what I heard was right around the time when the first movie came out was the fact that Guardians comics wasn't selling that well, and then after that movie came out, the sales actually went up because of that.
So one movie can just change everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially with good acting. And
and that is my
all-time favorite Marvel movie. And yeah, I it worked.
Yeah.
You know?
I would have to say my number 4 favorite Marvel. What the hell? I can't even.
You could say Leverett.
You guys got me. You guys got me fanboyed. Oh, starstruck.
You got Starstruck Rubber in there, Mr. Everett Lee?
Yeah, I'm around second round. Woohoo!
The poison's getting to you, my friend.
Yeah,
That's what
the
it is.
poison's affecting me, brother. Yeah. Hey, Ashley. That's a nice
Yeah.
looking pussy you got there.
Thank you. I get complimented on it all the time.
I had to do that.
It's a little big, but you work with what you got.
That's like what Johnny Carson said to Raquel Welch. Have you heard about that?
Ashley, what's the name of your pussy?
And my pussy's name is Gucci.
And Gucci's a fat fuck, and I'm a fat fuck, and Gucci and me get along really well.
He's a chepo.
My number 4 favorite Marvel comic book character would have to be, I'd say, Drax.
Nice.
Okay.
Dave Bautista.
Batista, yeah. He basically he showed a different side of what he can do with his acting, because I watched the movies that he did right before he did Guardians of the Galaxy, independent movies and stuff, and I thought it was all right, but when he seen him on the big screen as Drax the Destroyer, it showed that he could be funny and he could be a badass at the same time, which is awesome.
You know, to be honest,
it really showed his.
I agree.
acting
I agree
ability.
100%. You know what though, Everett?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen Blade Runner 2049?
I saw it. They showed it on the cruise, but at the time they were showing it at midnight, and I was sitting there, and I only made it all the way up to the part where Ryan Gosling was about to go meet Harrison Ford. I couldn't.
But you saw
make it,
Dave
man.
Bautista in the film.
Yes, at the beginning of it. Yeah, that
To
was
me,
good.
it was just so impressive,
Mhm.
just seeing Dave Bautista be able to act the way he did in the film. And I went like, I believe his character.
Yeah.
I believe, yes, he's a replicant and everything like that.
Right.
He could kick your ass, but he wants to be peaceful. I'm going like, this is amazing piece of acting for just a small role.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going like, give Dave Bautista more roles. He's doing good.
You might get God of War.
Yeah. Well, all you can say is with how much the numbers and the stuff with the Infinity War did, he's walking to the bank with a smile on his face, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work
definitely.
out, he could just go back to wrestling. So
Well, he wanted to, but they keep putting it off. You know, he don't need to go back to wrestling.
He doesn't
He don't need to go back.
He's
You know,
done
he's making as much
everything already.
money as The Rock. You know, he don't need to go back to wrestling.
He got that motherfucking movie check. You know?
Yeah, definitely. He got that motherfucking movie
He came
check.
back for the sake of.
Yeah, that motherfucking movie check. You ain't going nowhere.
Dwayne Johnson came back and went like, okay, so I came back for the sake of saying I came back.
And that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna go make money.
Yeah. All right, number 3. Number 3.
Ashley.
What is your number 3 pick, Ashley?
I would have to go Mark Ruffalo Hulk.
Oh, nice.
I really?
Mark Ruffalo. Huh?
I love Mark Ruffalo.
Mark
Hulk.
Ruffalo.
I love him. A lot better than the other one. What's his name?
Edward Norton?
Well, there was Norton, and then there was Eric Bana.
Yeah, I don't like
Eric Bana. Oh,
Edward Norton.
gosh,
I didn't
Eric
like
Bana.
Edward Norton.
You wonder why you don't see Eric Banner anymore.
I liked Edward Norton in other things, just not that.
Fight Club.
I love him in Fight Club.
What about Eric Bana?
No.
The most nonchalant Romulan in the history of Star Trek.
Nah.
Hello, Christopher.
It's
I'm
a
Leroy.
nah from me,
You're
but
a
yeah.
motherfucker, you're a Romulan.
Motherfucker, you're a Romulan.
I don't like Star Trek.
I
You don't
hate
like
you.
Star Trek?
I hate
Tommy,
you.
this is a
You
revelation.
told me. I told you.
Did Samuel L. Jackson have to say this to him?
English, motherfucker, do you speak
Samuel L. Jackson can narrate my life, and it'd be great.
Yeah.
Him and Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
He's got.
James Earl Jones would narrate.
That's a good one too.
What would be your number 3, Eddie?
Number 3, see, I go Red Skull, then I go Magneto, Professor X. Now I'm going to pick a superhero.
Mm.
And to me, personally, I think this is the only superhero in Marvel
Mm-hmm.
that has had a complete story arc.
Right.
And that is in the MCU. And that is Thor.
Yeah.
And Chris Hemsworth brought, and you see every single film he was in, not only Avengers, but every single Thor film. Ashley's salivating.
It's just Chris Hemsworth. I'm good.
I'm salivating too.
He's a fine looking
I've already
specimen.
wiped myself down.
He's literally what the Germans had in mind. Like, if you think about it.
Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah. Could you
Yes.
imagine if a bunch of those were coming out? Ooh, boy.
Be like, I am the goddess of.
I would have flipped. Yeah. 100%.
I'm just saying we have a turncoat here.
Yeah, word.
Okay, but coming back to Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth, not only great acting,
Mm-hmm.
humor-wise, you can see his humor displayed in Thor Ragnarok and
Yes.
some of the other films when it's spread out,
Yes.
especially, for example, in Avengers, oh, he's adopted, and things like that. But he also portrays, think about this, and a lot of people don't think about this. Thor 1, he wants to be king.
Mm-hmm.
He literally thinks, I want to be king, I deserve to be king, and whoever says I shouldn't be king, fuck them.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
By Thor 2, Odin says, you're going to be king. He goes like, I'm not going to be king. Why not? I want to protect Earth.
Yes.
He renounces his title as the heir apparent to Asgard.
Yeah.
And by Thor 3, when he does everything he does, fight his sister, does everything related to saving Asgard and things like that, he becomes king reluctantly.
Yeah.
When you see Avengers Infinity War, you see what he has to deal with by forging Stormbreaker
Yes.
and things of the sort. I don't want to get into spoilers because Ashley hasn't seen it, unfortunately.
Throwing me under.
DC fuck.
I'm working a lot.
I'm working a lot too.
I know, but I work at nights. Like, I don't know.
There are
That's movie
shows.
time.
That's like when everyone goes to the movies.
There are shows from 11 to 3, Ashley.
No, but that's when I'm having my coffee and my wake and bake time, and I don't really want to go to the movies.
You're what? Wake. Oh, okay. I didn't catch it.
Ah!
At first, I was like, "What?"
Everett Booby, you
Yeah.
get me.
Figuring it.
You getting what I'm putting down, guys? All right.
There you go.
Yeah, by the time I'm
Ashley's a
Ready.
woman of the world.
Yeah, I'm worldly.
Well, where
It's for medicinal purposes. I have
Yeah.
anxiety or something.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Teacher, so I have anxiety.
Yeah, I haven't seen Dr. Puff, the Magic Dragon, in a long time, so, yeah.
No, Dr. Puff.
He comes around for a bit.
He always appears all of a sudden, and he goes like,
Yeah.
Mr. Rodriguez, I know the kids have been horrible. Here's the medicine. And I go like, thank you, Dr. Puff. Thank you. I deserve this calmness.
What's your number 3, Tommy?
All right, Eddie's probably gonna hate me for this because my number 3 is Paul Rudd.
Oh.
Big Paul Rudd!
Ant-Man.
Paul Rudd.
Big Paul
Nice.
Rudd!
Paul Rudd.
Nice.
Do you drink every time?
When Paul Rudd got that
Every
role,
time I say fuck.
people were
No,
like,
every time we say Paul Rudd.
I don't see it. I don't see Ant-Man. I don't see Scott Lang.
Mhm.
Fucking nailed it.
Yeah, he did.
Gives you everything.
He did.
Yes! No!
He freaking...
Yes!
He nailed it.
He
Yeah.
fucking nailed it. It's believable. He's got the comedic side to him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? He got pretty ripped for that role.
I don't care.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He
Yeah, he
did.
did.
And he was
I
Big
don't
Paul.
care.
In Civil War, when he comes Big Paul Rudd,
No.
he was one of the main reasons that movie was so
Jesus.
good. Him, Black Panther, and Spider-Man stole the shit out of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Captain America.
No!
Captain America.
No!
Fuck.
No! He's so confused.
Fuck.
I cheers to Big Paul Rudd.
Cheers to fuck.
Cheers to Big Paul
Cheers to
Rudd.
Big Paul Rudd.
No.
Ant-Man
No.
and Wasp's gonna be
Ant-Man and Wasp is
huge.
gonna be a great
Big money, and
fucking
he's
movie.
gonna cheer to fuck. Cheers to fuck.
No.
Cheers to fuck. You're saying what? No? No?
No!
Die. Oh yeah.
No, my
There you
God.
go. See, Daniel Bryan understands me.
Yes.
No. Go like that.
Yeah. Let's do it again. Gotta go like this, Ashley.
I'm ready. What's the next? What does Mr. Everett Lee?
I need to understand. Mr. Everett Lee,
Yes.
Number 3.
reveal.
My number 3, I'm gonna have to say
Oh.
Tony Stark.
Oh.
Okay.
One of the big three.
A little bit
Yes.
Iron Man.
Tony Stark. What I really liked was at first, actually, I didn't like the idea of Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark Iron Man, because at first, when they released what the first Iron Man was going to be about and not really go too much with the comics, I was like, really? But then when I sat down and watched it, and halfway through the movie, I said to myself, I was like, this guy's just great. It reminded me of Batman Begins with Christian Bale when he was trying to figure out everything being Batman and stuff. When Tony Stark was in the movie trying to figure out how to be Iron Man and get everything together, that was freaking great. Seeing the trials and tribulations he had to go through to become this person and this character and this, symbol of hope. No pun intended to, Superman there. But you get what I'm saying, right?
No. What the fuck?
I fucking hate Superman.
Why?
Do I really have to explain?
Please try and explain in an
Give
intelligent
me
manner.
like a bridged Cliff Notes version of why
But
you hate
let
in
me.
an intelligent manner that I will not destroy as soon as you finish.
He does everything.
Exactly.
And it's stupid.
That's not the issue.
I'm sorry.
Tommy's
Superman
a
to me-
hater.
You know why? Because when I grew up, I was a Batman guy.
I'm a Batman guy. I still
Superman
love
could honestly
Superman.
go suck a dick.
He could if he wanted to.
And
He
he could.
has that
Probably
power.
could. Probably
But
just
he's
speed
not
of light.
going to right now because he's busy saving the world because he's amazing.
He's not.
All right, Tommy. I wanted what I like about Tony Stark is you saw the evolution from first Iron Man all the way up to
Agreed.
Avenger Infinity War. You saw the evolution, his character evolved over time and stuff. I liked Iron Man 2 I thought that was really great. I know a lot of people kind of shit on it because of Whiplash and stuff, but I like Mickey Rourke. I thought it was great. Iron Man 3, I thought was great because we saw basically a different side to Tony and stuff, and then how him and Gwyneth Paltrow was getting close and stuff. His character, I love the evolution of his character in the last 10 years.
I understand that, though.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah, I can understand.
See, I hated the films, but I love his arc.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I just wish I had Tony Stark's money.
I love the first Iron Man film. Hate the second. Hate the third.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with Avengers and Avengers 2.
Yeah.
Love Infinity War. But his arc is perfect film to film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's too stupid to not like two films, but think that the character's arc is wonderful. And I think part of it has to do exclusively that Civil War and Infinity War, all wars,
All the wars.
all the
We're
wars,
gonna get Secret Wars.
tie his arc together. But yes, Tony Stark has such an amazing, and I knew somebody was going to mention it, but that's why I want to mention Thor, because I agree 100%. Even though I don't like Iron Man 3 or 4, or 3, sorry, Iron Man, Tony Stark has such a great arc. It's an amazing story arc.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Jade already knows who Tommy's number one is. We're not even gonna bring it up.
Number 2. Number 2, Ashley.
Number 2.
What is your number
My
2?
number 2 would have to be Gamora. Why are you making a face? I can have opinions. That's fine. I'm a woman. This is 2018. I can have an opinion.
Opinions. She's right.
I can have an opinion.
You are entitled to your opinion.
She's a
You're entitled to be
strong
wrong.
female.
She's Dominican. She's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
She's not.
Well, not Gamora, but so he said.
Yeah. Great actress.
She's fucking alien. She's not Dominican. No, but I think I like this. I like the storyline with her family and the animosity, and these two are gonna be cracking fucking Boricua jokes all night. Jesus Christ.
Gamora and Platanos.
That's crazy. That's great.
I'll never get that out of my head. I can't watch Infinity War ever again.
Gamora
my
looks like
God.
a plátano. Is that
Yeah,
what you said?
she's a plátano.
She looks
She
like
makes
plantains.
mofongo.
And that's why I like her, because she reminds me of plantains.
Wow.
No, she's a wonderful character.
She's great. No, I love her. She's strong. I think, like, if I had a daughter, I would want her to be like, yeah, Gamora.
Yeah.
You
Are you
should.
gonna kill her to get the Soul Stone?
Fuck yeah.
Wow.
Spoilers.
Wow.
Wait,
I just
did
gotta
that?
say this.
No.
Oh.
Everybody's attention now.
I'm just.
Oh, wow.
Cheers.
Yes.
Okay, so Gamora.
right.
Yes.
That's your number 2?
That's my number 2.
What's your number 2?
What's your number 2, Eddie?
Number 2,
Dookie
My Green Day.
by Green Day.
my Green Day.
I think we're off the top list of the night.
We've fallen off. We've decided to go back in time. What do you think of the Green Day album? Loved
What's
it.
your favorite soundtrack?
What is Eddie Monopolish?
Anything Alan Silvestri does is amazing.
So
What has he done?
I'm gonna
Just
guess
even-
your number 2 is Hawkeye.
Wrong, sir. Wrong. People of the United States, if you need to understand, who is Big Money Eddie's number 2 guy in the MCU? That has definitely to be
Ronan.
Oh, no way.
no.
No. Oh, no. Okay.
Okay.
It'll be Thanos.
Thanos.
Matt Titan
Nice.
himself.
The Mandarin.
Nice.
No. I love Ben Kingsley, but no.
Yeah, they ruined that, man.
They
Wow.
ruined the Mandarin. No, Thanos, I can't believe somebody I hated from the comics would be in a top 5 list for me.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to films, See, because I've never related to. Yes, in the comics it was weird. It was kind of like off-putting, his romance with death and everything. But I find it kind of emo. What Thanos was thinking about. I will destroy the universe so death will fall in love with me. You fucking emo. Like, get a grip. Like, you are an immortal. Like, survive. However, in this film, he has that Malthusianism sort of mentality, like, I will get rid of half of the population of the universe, so half of the other half will survive and thrive.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, that's an excellent explanation for his motivations for removing half of the population.
Yeah.
Not to court death, but rather save the universe.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes him noble. Wrong, but noble.
Right. It's noble. Yeah. It's not right, but
It's not right,
it's
but it's noble.
Yeah.
And I found that beautiful. I went like, that is perfect. And I thought the character was handled well. Josh Brolin did an amazing job in portraying this character. And if you notice, I mostly handle with villains, and that's because I find them the most interesting characters. But again, I had Professor X, I had Thor.
Mm-hmm.
But Thanos, to me, especially in Infinity War, only in Infinity War, basically, portrayed humanity, portrayed real emotions that I thought like were impossible.
Right.
That was a good one.
What would be
Good
your...
explanation. Good
That was
answer.
awesome, man. I
Where's
loved it.
that
Good
from?
answer. Good answer.
Can't
I
believe
loved
you.
it.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yes!
Fuck on.
Fuck line or Hercules?
What would have to be your number 2 there, Tommy?
Funny enough, I think I would go with Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Ooh, nice.
He gave us the Spider-Man we all deserve. Don't get me wrong, Tobey Maguire is always going to be my Spider-Man, but Tom Holland gave the kid that we needed of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's believable, and if you haven't seen Homecoming, that one scene when he's underneath the rocks and he's really like, he just gets really upset, he doesn't know what to do, and he's calling for help, you feel it because he's still a child.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what really mattered. I look at it this way. Tobey Maguire is a perfect Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield was a very good Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Tom Holland's great at both. And
I
to
can
me,
see that.
I always loved Spider-Man, and you gave me Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong, Michael Keaton destroyed that movie. He was one of the best parts as the Vulture. But Tom Holland is my Spider-Man, and if we know in Infinity War what happens and shit...
I know.
Well, then again, I can already assume what happened. So, cheers. Cheers to him, or pour some out. I don't know yet. I don't know.
I would have to say my number 2 would have to be Captain America.
Okay.
Captain
Mr.
America.
Evans himself.
Chris Evans, because you know why.
Fuck yeah! Yes! America! Fuck yeah! I saw a shirt yesterday. It said America. I picked that shit up. I was like, I'm gonna buy this because it's for America.
Fuck yeah!
I like Chris Evans
bonus.
because I like the first Captain America for the fact that the director was good at directing like time like pieces, like history, like movies and stuff. Yeah, Rocketeer. Yeah, excellent movie from the early '90s. There, Rocketeer. Good time theme and everything. And when I heard he was directing Captain America, the first Avenger, I said it's going to be great because he's going to capture and get that timeline just right, And you feel at the beginning of the movie, you feel bad for Steve Rogers, man, because he just wanted to do what he wanted to serve his country. He wanted to be part of something that was going on. He wanted to help, and it was bad and stuff. And then when he got he got injected.
That's one of my favorite scenes from Civil War.
What's that?
With him and Spider-Man?
When him and Spider-Man. Where you from, man?
Queens.
Brooklyn.
And as being in Brooklyn at that moment, watching it in theaters, the whole place went. Because you're just like, we're so badass. That's what it meant. That's really what it meant.
And my family's from
Queens.
My family's
and
from
Brooklyn
Queens.
was standing there like it was nothing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
My family's from Queens.
That's awesome. But I did like that, you know. I mean, what, you know, Steve Rogers, just, I mean, when he got turned into the super soldier, and
Yes.
Tommy Lee Jones was great because Tommy Lee Jones saw something in him, saw something in Steve Rogers in that first, you know, Captain America movie, and it was just great, man. And the second one, I really did like the Winter Soldier. I did, because the moment when Steve found out that Bucky was alive, it was like holy crap, you know. He didn't see it coming, man. He didn't see it coming.
No,
you know. Not. And then, you know, he had some questions.
It's not gay.
What's that?
The little gay relationship they're
It's
having.
not gay. It's like the Sam Frodo thing. It's not gay. It looks gay, but it's not gay. It's all tiny.
It looks gay.
It's all tiny.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying what I'm seeing.
But again, the reason why I liked Steve Rogers, Captain America, is for the fact that there's more like Tony Stark, the way I see it, like evolution and stuff, you know. It's like he did miss out a big part of his life there and stuff, and I did feel bad in Winter Soldier when he met Agent Carter, and it was bad because she had, you know, what was it, amnesia or Alzheimer's, you know. I thought that was, like, you know, really bad.
No,
you know?
that's so sad though.
It was sad. It broke his heart, you know.
Super sad.
It didn't affect me as much because I still look at Everett as the Human Torch.
Yeah.
No.
I look at him as a Human Torch, but I look at him as Captain America. I see that now.
Yeah, I mean, when I see you know, he is Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real. That's Captain America right there.
Yep. All right. This is it. Number one.
Numero uno.
Number one.
Ashley.
Ashley, who is your number one favorite Marvel movie character?
For me,
I would do it.
I know he's already been mentioned, but I'm gonna have to go with Iron Man.
Yes.
Because that was the first MCU movie that I saw that actually kind of got me into the whole Marvel universe.
Right.
I guess you could say. Because I was, like I said before, I've been a DC person since I grew up. My dad was obsessed with Batman. My mom's always had a soft spot for Wonder Woman, so I kind of followed suit. And the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was the first Marvel movie I ever saw, and then the next movie after that was Tony Stark Iron Man, and I loved it. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Never looked back.
So I'll give a few honorable mentions real quick. No, honorable mentions without explaining.
No, don't give it. Don't give it. I deserve the right to say it.
I'm not going to say that one. Honorable mentions.
Wait, why wouldn't you give him an honorable mention?
Not him. Just fuck him.
Okay, Alex.
Oh, man.
Honorable mention, obviously, Tony Stark. Honorable mention, Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Honorable mention, Chris Evans as Captain America.
And, of course, Topher Grace as Venom. Alright,
I'll bring you.
Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider.
Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider is amazing.
Jennifer Gardner as Electric.
Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider is the most amazing thing you will ever see. Go see me now as Ghost Rider in your future screen. No, I'm joking. Don't watch Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. But if I would have to pick one Marvel character, what the fuck?
You just hit my elbow on the chair.
Another last honorable mention. Wesley Snipes as Blade.
Yes.
Because somebody has to pick. But my number one pick has to be Hugh Jackman.
That's a good one.
Awesome.
And
good, very good.
And even though somebody's going to say one other pick, that is not the best pick.
We're sassy.
We're talking about. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm sassy. It's by nature. The best pure casting for any Marvel film of all time has to be Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Holy shit. We're talking about not only 6+ films. Mm-hmm. We're talking about somebody who embodied the character, made the character accessible to everybody.
Right.
Made the character, he's just dreamy.
What?
He's just cute.
We both look stupid. Why are you looking at me?
That's why I'm making you guys look dumb. Because Hugh Jackman is the best pick for the best actor to have portrayed a Marvel character.
Damn.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Logan.
Yeah.
And your pick is wrong.
It's not.
What is Tommy's pick?
Out.
What is Tommy's number one?
Watching?
All right, so in case those that do watch our show, there is rules to our show, so please pick up your drink.
Fuck.
Because the number one best Marvel actor, actress, whatever.
We don't agree with this.
It's 100% a fact.
No.
It's Michael B. Jordan. So that means you have
Cheers to Michael B. Jordan.
The Michael B. Jordan drinking game.
Because Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger. He's the greatest actor right now.
He's not.
We've proven.
No. Jake Gyllenhaal is the best actor.
It's the only person I'm allowed to go. He did Bubble Boy, so he goes in front of him.
Nightcrawler.
Again. But it is Michael B. Jordan. He, honestly, before that movie came out, Mr. A-Town Ryan was telling me that Chadwick Boseman, don't get me wrong, perfect Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman's going to steal that movie.
And he's in his 40s.
He is in his fucking 40s. How ridiculous is that?
I'm so
But you know who's not in his 40s? Michael B. Jordan.
You know who's not in his
40s? For a very long time.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
He's about to be. And
fuck you.
The one thing is,
I love Don.
Michael B. Jordan stole that movie, not only as an actor, not only as a villain.
What's happening?
Oh, so, no, I got it. So, yeah, not only as an actor, not only as a villain, but he literally stole that movie the entire way.
No, I agree 100%.
Even the emotional parts. Remember we were talking because we reviewed Black Panther.
Yeah.
And we were saying that as a villain, you understood why this was happening.
You understood every single moment he was in. I have to agree that he is a relatable villain. He's not the best villain.
You can
I can never say he is the best villain.
Well, that's obviously
He's a great
Julian McMahon as Dr. Doom. We know this. But I'm saying,
Dr. Christian Troy.
You talking about it? He is better than Ian McKellen. Motherfucker!
Look, we know that Michael B. Jordan
You motherfucker!
Focus.
We
know
that Michael B. Jordan trumps everyone.
No!
Cinematic universe.
Ian McKellen.
When they go ahead and they take the time to go back to my time stone.
Ian McKellen.
He died as a champ, okay?
He did not die as a champ.
Dorothy Manson is a saint, and so is Michael B. fucking Jordan. He didn't deserve to die.
He deserved to die.
That's how he died.
He died.
That's
particles. No, that's actually not how he died. That's how Infinity War. That's how they died.
No, fuck him.
No, because when they reverse time, guess who's coming back?
No, he's not coming back.
That if he was still around,
not coming back.
You know what? In Infinity War, he would still be alive. In Infinity War, he would beat Thanos by himself.
No!
Of course he would. It's Michael B. Jordan.
Thanos would go like,
what are you?
Child, I understand you.
Do you see the stuff on his chest?
He goes like, child, I've killed 1,000 more people by every single
Michael
little
B.
point.
Jordan. You're not killing Michael B.
Every little bump on his body.
Kill?
No, every little bump. It's 1,000 Thanos kills. It's 1,000. Fuck!
Can I say that real quick?
Fuck Killmonger.
This here is the skull of Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger, right here.
Fuck
It
him.
lives forever in our
filled with
hearts
tequila.
because he is the best and will stay the best.
Kill tequila.
They said it was filled
Killmonger
with tequila.
Killmonger
Yeah.
tequila.
So in
Killmonger.
case for all those listeners out there, you know, whenever we say Michael B. Jordan,
Tequila
have to
monger.
drink, they probably are shit-faced right now.
Whoa. Yeah, I had to step away just for a minute. I had to let my dog out. He was scratching my leg, man. Sorry about that.
Ranted so long he left.
No,
Michael B. Jordan.
No.
Told us he was
Take a
like-
drink, people. I just said it.
I said that.
I want to hear your number one.
My number one. Okay. My number one goes back to when I was 12 years old because I still have it packed away somewhere. Issue 432, where a death of a villain happens by the hands of a thunder god. And it's a really good issue. I still have. I'm going to have to say Thor. I've been a fan of Thor since I was 12 years old.
Yes.
I have issue 432 where Thor kills Loki. He kills him. He strikes him down. Odin awakes from his coma, and he ends up basically banishing, Thor to Mephisto. That was at that time. I'm like, no way. And then Eric Masters becomes the new Thor, but with the mind of Eric Masters. Seeing Thor on the big screen, the 12-year-old in me just cried for joy because I grew up, with this character, reading him.
Because I'm just as big a fan of Thor as you. When you saw when in Thor 1, when he had the Donald Blake insignia, how did you feel? Because I screamed. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, Donald Blake! I get it.
I know. I thought that was awesome, man. I did. I was like, damn, that is so cool. Good reference. I caught it, and I told my wife because we went and seen it. And I mentioned it, and she was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." I was like, "Yeah, I just love that drop there, of Donald, man. That was just freaking awesome." And I love Stan Lee's cameo. I love Stan Lee's cameo in all the Marvel films, especially that one, man. They're trying to pull the hammer out with the truck.
Yeah. What is your favorite one? What is your favorite Stan Lee cameo?
Mine, I guess, would have to be from Age of Ultron.
Mallrats all day.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody. It's Mallrats all day.
You see?
Because he has a genuine conversation about
Mallrats.
the Marvel Universe.
That's actually the first DVD I bought. When I first got my DVD player, I went out to look. I was like, "What am I going to buy to watch?" I'm looking around. I was like, Mallrats, and I still have it. I still have it.
I can't wait for the sequel to come out.
I know. Finally, after all this time.
Wait, it was Jay and Silent Bob.
He's making
an everything sequel.
He's making a sequel to everything.
Oh, sweet.
He already got Shannon Doherty to sign back on for Mallrats, which she's obviously desperate for work. But
of course, she has no work.
Yeah, she hasn't done anything since Mallrats.
Yeah.
No.
Charmed.
There you
go.
Charmed. But how long did she last on that, man? She lasted, 3 seasons, and then they had to replace her with Rose McGowan,
Shannon Doherty was an Ninja and Silent Bob.
Yes, she was.
Where's what?
Who?
Shannon Dorothy.
As who?
When you go remember the screen thing when the monkey is the one she goes like cut, and it's Wes Craven. She goes like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah. Jane Silent Bob. Yeah,
when they bust into the
that was
movie.
great.
I thought he was gonna try to say Shannon Doherty was one of the Elijah Dushku girl gang. And
No.
Like,
That's Shannon. That's Shannon and Elizabeth.
That's Shannon Elizabeth.
I remember those boobs.
And Kevin Smith's wife was in that group as well.
Yeah.
She was the only one that didn't fit in, I thought.
I agree.
Yeah, because Jennifer Schwalbach is not that pretty.
Yeah.
I met her in real life, and she's really nice. So I can't say
she's not that pretty.
That's cool.
But she was really nice to me.
One thing I got to throw out there, guys, about the first Thor movie. The Frost Giant that had the couple lines. Thor had said, "Better run home to little princess."
Oh, Laufey?
That was played by Darren Kendrick, and I interviewed him about 3 years ago when I first started out with the podcast.
Really?
Yeah, pretty cool guy, man. He talked about it, and it was awesome because he talked about how the extras on the set were kind of the extra Frost Giants were upset at him because he had lines, and then he was so stoked and stuff because I was referred to him by a friend, and they said mention about his action figure. So when I brought that up, and he was like, "Oh, you had to bring that up," he said he went to the premiere of Thor. When he left, he went straight to Target, ran down the toy aisle, and there it was, his action figure, and he bought it. He said, "I said, I said, did you buy it? He goes, why? Fuck yeah, I bought it.
You gotta have it.
It's you.
Good guy.
I want to have an action.
Me too.
You
One
can. There's usually a kiosk at MegaCon where they do the 3D scan of you in a cosplay, and they will make you like into a statue or like an action
But I have no
figure.
cosplay. I'd be like,
Well, then get a fucking cosplay, or just be yourself. You are a cosplay worthy enough.
Just do like
what would I be? Ashley. No.
The most genius
big
man.
Bope.
Big Bope.
big boy.
You're just poof.
Big
Now
money
speaking
I'll poop. I'll poop
You're
everything.
gonna poop everyone.
now speaking of MegaCon is going to be at the end of the month. I believe. What is it through the 20? What are the
It
dates?
is the 24th through the 27th.
I'll
You're
be
It's
be
going
there.
to be at the Orange County Convention Center. Norman Reedus, Daryl from The Walking Dead, is going to be there Saturday and Sunday.
Somebody's excited.
I'm going to be there taking photos with him on Saturday.
Awesome.
I'm going to be there all 4 days.
I'll be there too, taking pictures.
All 4 days.
Not with him. Well, I'll be the one.
I'll be dressed up 3 out of 4 days. I'm excited.
I'll be dressed.
I'll be dressed
Not-
all 4 days.
I'll be dressed.
'cause I'm not going
None of
naked.
the 4 days. I'll
I'm
be
not going
naked.
naked.
I'll be naked.
I'll be half naked on Sunday. The tan costume.
That's not half naked.
It's enough. That makes my mother uncomfortable.
You get some cheeks.
I'll see.
You should get cheeks out of that.
I'm going to wear butt implants.
Whoever gets too
I'm gonna have,
whoever gets too comfortable, I'll punch him in the
I'm
face.
gonna have
Don't worry.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how we roll here in the second
She's
round.
in for
Whoever
a
touches
disappointment.
little sister, we punch in the face.
Well, you got to, man. You got to, man. People don't know boundaries, you know?
I'm waiting for him to just laugh.
Oh my
And I'm
god.
lag.
Oh my god. You guys are too much, man. That's why I love you, man. I love it, and I'm glad you guys are on the Podcast City Network.
Yes.
I am. I am so glad that you guys have joined the network, and you guys are fun. I enjoy your episodes. I love the New York edition. I can't wait to talk with them and get them on and talk with them. And where, besides the Podcast City Network, where can people find more of Second Rounds?
You can find us on Facebook, Spotify, and any of the regular streaming podcasts.
You can find us on Instagram, 2ND Rounds. We're also on Twitch. You can catch some of the Florida guys. You can catch some of the New York guys. We love to play on Twitch. Again, the username for the Twitch is 2ND Rounds, as in second rounds. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook for my cosplay page. It is Stashbox Cosplay.
Yeah, and of course you can always find us on Podbean,
Yeah.
iTunes,
Podbean, yes.
Spotify, as we all mentioned. We also have our group chat now, our little group page.
We
and you
have a
come in
page for
to
the Who You Got Challenge.
So now it's time to get in and place your votes because Darth Maul versus Green Ranger is still going on. So you got to place those votes because
I already voted.
yeah, I know you voted. I know. Shut both of you out. You both voted.
I voted.
She voted.
I'm a
too.
Star Wars fan.
Hey, so am I.
I'm not even a fan.
That's why Green Ranger got creamed.
Cream. That's a
Yay.
I do want to mention this, though. You can catch Second Rounds, the New York edition, and the Florida edition on the Podcast City Network, bringing you the latest independent podcasting featuring The Everett Lee Show, Imaginarium with Scott and Todd, The Grimlock Show, The Chris Carnage Show, Super Radio Brothers, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast, Wrestle Popcast, and Draft Day, and much, much more coming to you on the Podcast City Network. Head over to podcastcity.net for the latest content on the website. You can check out content, as mentioned, on iTunes, Libsyn, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Podbeam, Podmatic, all those platforms right there on how you listen to your audio podcast. Check out Podcast City Network on Facebook, facebook.com/Podcast City Network, or send us a tweet on Twitter @PodcastCityNet. And I got one more surprise for you guys. Getting ready here just in a minute. I just had to cue and give the go. Now I can't find you guys. I got so much stuff on here. Okay, there you are. When you're running like multi things.
Close the porn tabs, Everett.
I got a call coming in right now.
Oh, what? You got a call?
Hello, caller. You are live on the Everett Lee Show.
Now I can't find you guys. I got so much stuff on here. Okay, there you are. When you're running like multi things.
Hello, caller.
I got a call coming in right now.
You need to turn your background down or we're going to hang up on you.
Hello, caller. You are live on the Everett Lee Show.
Hello. And this is the Deathmatch Russell podcast saying welcome aboard once again to the Podcast City Network along with the Everett Lee Show and much, much more.
Cheers!
How you guys doing today?
That's right.
Yes.
David C. Russell, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast, wanted to call in and welcome you guys to the Podcast City Network. I told him, I said, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Kill it. Love it. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
I'm going to be celebrating this weekend. I'm actually headed to Chicago tomorrow night for some pro wrestling down in Freelance Underground and GCW down in the Chicago area. So that's going to be fun. A couple days of drinking, partying. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff down there too, so stay tuned.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, David, for calling in, and thanks for welcoming second rounds to the Podcast City Network, man.
Thank you.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers to you, David.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, I'm going to hit this outro music, and that's it for the Everett Lee Show podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Be sure to follow Everett Lee on Facebook, facebook.com/The Everett Lee. Click that thumbs up. And also on Twitter, @TheEverettLeeScoreLee. That's right. Too sweet. That's right. Everett Lee signing off. Ashley, Eddie, Tommy. You guys have a good night, man. I'll talk to you later.